Yeah, logical. People's army. They don't understand. You see, sometimes it feels like people don't really want to help you out. Don't want to give you a helping hand and give you a little bit of their time. Listen, they don't understand. Listen.
Yeah, you ever felt like the whole world's against you? People saying that you never done what you meant to. People telling you you're special, but the people that you want to get you don't get you. I was raised around ignorance, young men taught to think militant. I felt like an immigrant, cause what them man were on, fam, I weren't into it. But the feds still got my name and my fingerprints. I've had to sin a bit, not proud, and I know you won't understand, but I still say it. I don't go to a church or a mosque or a synagogue, but believe I'm still praying. I spent days in the studio, it weren't easy, spitting positive around man that spat greasy. Look at me now, I never lost my hunger, fam, but it feels like you still don't understand. They don't understand. Listen, it don't matter how much I scream at them and how much I keep giving them what I wanna give them. Listen. No manager, everything I've done myself. From recording to putting stuff on the shelf. I went to open mics daily to get it in. I come home all night and I was editing. No street team, I sold my CDs hand to hand. Spat bars to make you buy and make you understand. Cause from real days I had another plan. To speak clearly without using gutter slang. To read books for myself, to learn about life. To try and make my wrongs right. So I dedicated all my words on the mic to peace and love. And I'll never let anybody judge my actions. My moves are the moves that a prophet makes. Still speak truth regardless of wealth and papes. And try and take down those with the upper hand. But it seems like they still don't understand. They don't understand.
You see, they don't understand. They don't understand what I'm telling them in my bars, fam. They don't understand why I'm doing this thing. That's the overstand furthermore, yeah. Because it's not easy, it's not simple, yeah. The main reason is for the next generation, so they realize that all the mistakes that they're making are mistakes that we've already made. We don't want them to go through the same thing. I understand. People's arms stand up, salute, march for the truth, forever.
People are always quick to make assumptions and judge someone when they've never really been in that situation themselves. I'm just a spectator looking in, but I can tell you how I think things should have been, and all the reasons why the world's where it is today. Please listen to my words, what I have to say. You see, in Gaza they're fighting for land. You see, they need this land because it's a part of their plan. Understand, the Jews needed a place after Hitler, but they got about 3/4 of Palestinian land. Palestinians then had to make refuge in places like Lebanon, places where none of them had ever gone. Thousands were massacred for not leaving. See, I do the same, kill me, I die believing. I understand the mind of a man who commits suicide, but don't agree with any innocent that has to die. And what's gonna happen after this? Will they stop with the Gaza Strip? I don't think so. I sat with a Jew to learn. He told me that he's not meant to go to Israel until a prophet returns. I said, is this true? He told me, go and read the Torah, cause if it's true, then they're following another order. How can a nation that knows what it's like to be slaughtered go and do the same to someone else? That's a simple question that they gotta sit down and ask themselves, innit? I'm just a spectator looking in, but I can tell you how I think things should have been. A couple reasons why the world's where it is today. Please listen to my words, what I have to say. I don't know everything and never will I claim to know what our purpose is and what we really need to grow. But I do know we're dying for a common cause, a global word that is well known. War, I've been to Africa and seen a grown man on the floor, disabled to the point I couldn't look anymore. A real beggar in a real state of poverty. But he prays every day, so he knows that there's gotta be another life where he can live as a strong man. And the ownership of Africa doesn't end up in the wrong hands. Western palms, buying and destroying people just to trade arms. Can someone tell me why Africa is just surviving? The whole land was a resource, plus they got diamonds. Used to be able to run your hand through the sand and get a handful of diamonds. Do you understand? How precious is the land if it's like that? You see, it's wrong to say it was taken by the white man. It was taken by the power hungry and the people that never saw the beauty of Africa, fam. They only saw the money. To them it was the land of opportunity. It's terrorism when it's done by either you or me. Treat these words like my eulogy, and remember that I died being exactly what I choose to be. Inshallah, we all can see that God is the goodness in you and me. No religion has ownership. See, the Quran and the Bible and the Torah were all wrote with ink. See, I think the masses are miseducated. See, most of the politicians were born racist. See, it's obvious that somehow we're all related. Millions of years back before we separated, I heard Tony Benn say it in a speech. See, how can you murder another brother because he's weak? Your ancestors could have been cousins, so take a seat and try and reason with your brother, fam, before you beef. I'm just a spectator looking in from my view. I'm not different or special, I'm just like you. Bleed blood and shed tears when my heart's hurting. I get energy from everything in life. I'm learning how to say my thoughts, release my stress through my words. Make you visualize everything you've ever heard. Picture ancient Egyptians meditating to the elements, telepathically debating, until the pirates came in the form of tradesmen. Promised them a paradise in exchange for a heaven. Temptation and misinterpretation, so they jeopardized the whole of the nation. You see, a paradise is where we might choose to go, but a heaven is the place where the angels go, so they can reason with the prophets, not bathe in gold. And it's not late for no one to save your soul. I'm a citizen of truth, love and loyalty. Every person on the planet is royalty. These are my thoughts, how I look at things. Fam, I'm just a spectator looking in. That's all I can really do. I can only give you my interpretation of any subject. I'm just a spectator looking in.
Are you the author of these writings?
I am.
Do you recant what you have written here?
I cannot renounce all of my works because they are not all the same. First are those books in which I have described Christian faith and life so simply that even my opponents have admitted that these works are useful. To renounce these writings would be unthinkable, for that would be to renounce accepted Christian truth.
He is not here to make speeches, only to answer.
The second group of my work is directed against the foul doctrine and evil living of the popes, past and present.
No! Alright. Who created God? That's the question. Listen. Because sometimes things are too deep to think about, let alone spit about. But I'm the opposite, I get it out. Better out than in. I believe in God, yeah, but who made him? It's a fair question. I don't oppose religious beliefs, it's just a question. And question everything I done mentioned. Second guess anything. Nothing's gospel till you know it. Faith is a tree, you gotta grow it. Nurture your ideologies and research philosophies before you're praying on your knees. I ain't addressed the real question yet, and that's who made God. It's not blasphemy, and if anybody out there's got the answer, then please get back to me. Hit me up. Human beings don't give a fuck. They sell the one thing that God gave everyone to earn a buck. Yeah, I've had enough, I'm not gullible. In this life, yeah, Judas lives comfortable, and Jesus is dynamo. A normal person with superpowers gives life to dead flowers, it's just an illusion. Is God just a concept put here to maintain confusion? Tell me who wins, and is the devil strong? Who's And who made him? Every religion they say the same thing. Burn Satan, yeah burn. I say if you're blind you can't learn. The Bible says turn the other cheek. But in this life, if you turn the other cheek, then you're seen as weak. What to believe or not to believe, what's worse, I'll explain in the next verse. Who created God? You tell me. Listen, you see, cause God's an answer to a question that we all pose. We can't fathom the truth, so we need showing. Need a knowing, need an understanding. Think about it, who made God? Is the real concept lost? Cause the concept is obviously man-made. We made the language so that way we made God. We created a concept to guide us, cause we're all lost. And different religions, each develop different stories. But if you think deep, yeah, they all have the same story. They all say love is good, and they all show you a life that it feels you should follow now. Cause my words mean more than the words written over there. In God I swear, claim to be taken in vain. I hope that you hear what I'm saying, cause I believe strong, trust, cause God's helped me carry on. Pick myself up and battle on. Faith and God are two different things. We can only believe in man-made things, in a man-made concept. Cause anything that we believe in, we created it. Religious books, we printed and created it. Is it a crazy myth that we're brainwashed to believe? I'm still asking. Listen, who created God? You tell me. Alright, you see, listen, cause I believe that man made God out of ignorance and fear. Cause if God made man, then why the hell would he put us here? I thought he's supposed to be the all-loving, the same God who let Palestinians die in abundance. Don't fall for that regular shit. The regular's just irrelevantness. They want us to submit to something that they control. So they made money and women promote their sexy clothes. It's a way for them to get your soul. If you don't give it, take control of your life, fam, go live it. Whether you're Muslim or Christian, Hindu or Sikh, mind what you seek, cause what you seek could be a defeat. Why do I wash my hands and my feet? Why should I have to watch how I speak? God gave me the right to speak, made me unique. How can we bite the hand that feeds, provides air to breathe, the land, the sea, the fruits, the trees? Jesus Christ, is it blasphemy? Or is it blasphemy to cut down the trees for your factories? They're trying to make nature a fallacy and make the nation scared Islamically. Pro-tragedy, pro-agony, anti-love and pro-savagery, anti-family. But I love a stranger like he's my brother. No matter his religion, his accent or colour. Say they want us to hate each other. Do you get the picture? So don't let religion be another way for us to differ. Do you get the picture? So don't let religion be another way for us to differ. Do you get the picture? Just don't let religion be another way for us to differ. Do you get the picture? Just don't let religion be another way for us to differ. Who created God? You tell me. Cause I don't know who created God, but I believe if you don't, then explain the sun and the trees, the birds and the bees. Nature is natural, so God is factual. I don't know who created God, but I believe if you don't, then explain the sun and the trees, the birds and the bees. Nature is natural, so God is factual. Cause I don't know who created God, but I believe if you don't, then explain the sun and the trees, the birds and the bees. Nature is natural, so God is factual. I don't know who created God, but I believe if you don't, then explain the sun and the trees, the birds and the bees. Nature is natural, so God is factual.
Most of my Latino and black people who are struggling to get food, clothes, and shelter in the hood are so concerned with that philosophizing about freedom and socialist democracy is usually, unfortunately, beyond their rationale. They don't realize that America can't exist without separating them from their identity. Because if we had some sense of who we really are, there's no way in hell we'd allow this country to push its genocidal consensus on our homelands. This ignorance exists, but it can be destroyed. Niggas talk about change and working within the system to achieve that. The problem with always being a conformist is that when you try to change the system from within, it's not you who changes the system, it's the system that will eventually change you. There is usually nothing wrong with compromising a situation, but compromising yourself in a situation is another story completely. And I have seen this happen long enough in the few years that I've been alive to know that it's a serious problem. Latino America is a huge colony of countries whose presidents are cowards in the face of economic imperialism. You see, third world countries are rich places, abundant in resources, and many of these countries have the capacity to feed their starving people and the children we always see digging for food and trash on commercials. But plutocracies, in other words, a government run by the rich, such as this one, and traditionally oppressive European states, force the third world into buying overpriced, unnecessary goods while exporting huge portions of their natural resources. I'm quite sure that people will look upon my attitude and sentiments and look for hypocrisy and hatred in my words. But my revolution is born out of love for my people, not hatred for others. You see, most of Latinos are here because of the great inflation that was caused by American companies in Latin America. Aside from that, many are seeking a life away from the puppet democracies that were funded by the United States. Places like El Salvador, Guatemala, Peru, Colombia, Nicaragua, Ecuador, and la República Dominicana. And not just Spanish-speaking countries either, but Haiti and Jamaica as well. As different as we have been taught to look at each other by colonial society, we are in the same struggle. And until we realize that, we'll be fighting for scraps from the table of a system that has kept us subservient instead of being self-determined. And that's why we have no control over when the embargo will stop in Cuba or when the bombs will stop dropping in Vieques. But you see, here in America, the attitude that is fed to us is that outside of America, there live lesser people. Fuck them, let them fend for themselves. No, fuck you. They are you. No matter how much you want to dye your hair blonde and put fake eyes in, or follow an anorexic standard of beauty, or no matter how many diamonds you buy from people who exploit your own brutally to get them, no matter what kind of car you drive, or what kind of fancy clothes you put on, you will never be them. They're always gonna look at you as nothing but a little monkey. I'd rather be proud of what I am rather than desperately try to be something I'm really not, just to fit in. And whether we want to accept it or not, that's what this culture or lack of culture is feeding us. I want a better life for my family and for my children, but it doesn't have to be at the expense of millions of lives in my homeland. We're given the idea that if we didn't have these people to exploit, that America wouldn't be rich enough to let us have these little petty material things in our lives and basic standards of living. No, that's wrong. It's the business giants and the government officials who make all the real money. We have whatever they kick down to us. My enemy is not the average white man. It's not the kid down the block or the kids I see on the street. My enemy is the white man I don't see. The people in the White House, the corporate monopoly owners, fake liberal politicians, those are my enemies. The generals of the armies that are mostly conservative, those are the real motherfuckers that I need to bring it to. Not the poor, broke, country-ass soldier that's too stupid to know shit about the way things are set up. In fact, I have more in common with most working and middle-class white people than I do with most rich black and Latino people. As much as racism bleeds America, we need to understand that classism is the real issue. Many of us are in the same boat, and it's sinking, while these bougie motherfuckers ride on the luxury liner. And as long as we keep fighting over kicking people out of the little boat we're all in, we're gonna miss an opportunity to gain a better standard of living as a whole. In other words, I don't want to escape the plantation. I wanna come back, free all my people, hang the motherfucker that kept me there, and burn the house to the goddamn ground. I wanna take over the encomienda and give it back to the people who work the land. You cannot change the past, but you can make the future. And anyone who tells you different is a fucking lethargic devil. I don't look at a few token Latinos and black people in the public eye as some type of achievement for my people as most of those successful individuals are just sellouts and house Negroes. But I don't consider brothers a sellout if they move out of the ghetto. Poverty has nothing to do with our people. It's not in our culture to be poor. That's only been the last 500 years of our history. Look at the last 2,000 years of our existence and what we brought to the world in terms of science, mathematics, agriculture, and forms of government. You know, the idea of a confederation of provinces where one federal government controls the states? The Europeans who came to this country stole that idea from the Iroquois League. The idea of impeaching a ruler comes from an Aztec tradition. That's why Montezuma was stoned to death by his own people, because he represented the agenda of white Spaniards once he was captured, not the Aztec people who would become Mexicans. So in conclusion, I'm not gonna vote for anybody just because they black or Latino. They have to truly represent the community and represent what's good for all of us proletariat. Porque si no, entonces te mando pa'l carajo, cabrón, gusano, hijo de puta. Seramos libres pronto. ¡Viva la revolución! ¡Que viva la revolución!
Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck Dirty Hell. Immortal Technique. Got guns too, nigga. Killer Mike. Fuck Terminator, nigga. Brother Ali. Fuck Rambo. No. Yeah. The ghetto is like a prison with invisible bars. No matter where you at, it always follow you where you are. And it's hard out there for a pimp to get out of, but it's harder for the hooker that he beat the shit out of. I got niggas underground in the Confederate States, ironically running from slavery that prison creates. So I never hate on the South, I respect their vision. I just hate on niggas that promote Samboism and white execs that love to see us in that position. They reflect the stereotypes of America's vision. They want us dancing, cooning and hollering, only respect us for playing sports and modeling. More than racism, it's stay in your placism. More people are trapped in practical blackfacism. So fuck a civil war between the North and the South. It's between field niggas and slaves that are stuck in the house.
Civil war for the soul of a nation. This is a struggle to save civilization. Demonstrations overthrowing the occupation. The annihilation of mental colonization. Civil war for the soul of a nation. We fight for the future of our civilizations. Destroy the corrupt government organizations trying to survive cultural assassination.
Rip niggas, blood niggas, essays, Asians. Why the fuck we born with each other's population? The devil wanna dead all our population, people in folk nation. Why the separation? Why we got Jamaicans hating on Haitians when the British and French rape both nations? Mexicans and blacks kill each other straight hating, while the government profits from prison population. If you on the bottom, be you Anglo or Asian, you gotta recognize the realness in what I'm saying. You gotta recognize another G ain't the enemy. When the police ride and kill us frequently, we gotta make the youth see where the truth be. If you a G, then grow and develop GD. 50 years of gains and our people still poor. If we really run the streets, we should really end war.
Civil war for the soul of a nation. This is a struggle to save civilization. Demonstrations overthrowing the occupation. The annihilation of mental colonization. Civil war for the soul of a nation. We fight for the future of our civilizations. Destroy the corrupt government organizations trying to survive cultural assassination.
Listen, our hearts were torn apart just like y'all was. Watching towers full of souls fall to sawdust. Every time we called your office, you ignored us. Now you're holding hearings on us all inside a on us. Asked if we're jihadists. My answer was in line with all of the founding fathers. I think Patrick said it best. Give me liberty or death. I shall never accept anything less. You claim innocence, you play victimless, but you gave the kiss of death in the name of self-defense. Slavery and theft of other nations to the end of pacifying your citizenry with excess. We believe in freedom just as security, but they're only pure when they're applied universally. So certainly if I rage against the machine, my aim was only to clean the germs out of the circuitry. Urgently putting fear inside your heart, make you burn Qurans and tell me not to build a mosque. Me, my wife and babies, we ain't never made you hard. We just wanna touch our head to the floor and talk to God. Ask him to remove every blemish from our heart. The greatest threat of harm doesn't come from any bomb. The moment you refuse the human rights for just a few, what happens when that few includes you? Civil war.